In one of our headlines, justice for Sushant continues with his family and students of Amity Law School clamoring for the resignation of the director as well as the examination in charge for abetting the law, in fact, students' suicide. Sushant Rohilla, a third-year law student at Amity School, ended his life on the 10th at his Sarojini Nagar residence after being harassed for low attendance. In spite of all the leniency because of the leg injury, there was no respite. Students claim that despite of his name figuring in the university list of students allowed to answer the exams, the college went ahead and debarred him. His father, Jagdish Kumar, who is a secretary in the Rajya Sabha, has demanded justice. Students have been carrying out massive protests claiming that the college's autocracy, which claims Sushant's life, they need justice for it. The family now plans to file an FIR against the college.
Most of his friends are alleging that while there was compensation of attendance given for many other students who participated in college activities, he was not given any sort of compensation despite being unwell and also participating in college activities. Now, 2 civil cases have been filed against the Amity Law University. However, Amity University now has very categorically come out and said that they had repeatedly informed the family about his low attendance and they have nothing to do with his suicide. With video journalist Nitin, Ignore Kaur for News X.
ईमेल में उसमें पता चला कि उसको डिटेन किया गया, डिबार किया गया और उसने रिक्वेस्ट करी कि मेरे को डिबार नहीं करें, सिर्फ एक छोटे से मुद्दे पे, शॉर्टेज पे, अटेंडेंस पे। उसमें मेल में उसने बड़ा क्लियरली कहा कि अगर आप मेरे को डिबार करेंगे तो मैं मेंटली सर्वाइव नहीं कर पाऊंगा, मेरी लाइफ डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगी, ये मेरी लास्ट होप है, मेरे को डिबार ना करें। और उसने सबसे स्पेसिफिकली मेडिकल ग्राउंड, उसको पैर पे चोट लगी थी, उसने मेडिकल ग्राउंड में बोला गया, लेकिन उस ईमेल का जवाब तो छोड़िए, कोई भी एक्शन, कोई भी कंस्ट्रक्टिव एक्शन यहाँ के किसी ऑफिशियल नहीं करा।
The untimely and unnatural death of Sushant Rohilla is not just shocked the entire Delhi but the country as well. We're joined by several of his peers from the Amity University and also some ex-students over here. Thank you all for speaking with NewsX firstly at this tough time for all of you. Before I go across to some ex-students who will give their perspectives about the problem, some people who knew Sushant, first, how was he as a person?
He was an extremely jolly person, probably one of the jolliest person I've ever met in life, and a meritorious student who did not deserve this, what he was subjected to in our college. But then it is sad enough that it took his sad demise for us to really raise a voice against this, because he was one gem of a person who should not have been subjected to all this ever.
What is your main demand now? We do know that there have been protests also at the university, on campus. What is your main demand?
Our first and foremost demand for now is resignation of the director and the examination in charge, that is Dr. Professor Ishita Bhasani. We wanted to resign because it is more so because of her and her arbitrary acts that this boy committed suicide. She is the de facto director of our college, despite of a director being and sitting there.
You are in third year. Oh, in fact, he's in third year. You have 2 more years at the university. आपको निराशा होता है ये सब देख के, डिसअपॉइंटमेंट होता है कि आप 2 और साल इस यूनिवर्सिटी में काटने और ऐसा माहौल है अभी?
सर, निराशा होता है क्योंकि छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं जो हमें मतलब जो वो परसेप्शन है उनका, उसके हिसाब से चलना पड़ता है। आई विल टेल यू ए स्मॉल इंसिडेंट। एक बार मैं ऐसे ही कॉरिडोर में चल रहा था और मैंने एक टीचर के पांव छू लिए। सी सेड कि ये अपना कल्चर प्रमोट करने की कोशिश ना करो, यहाँ पे बस मैं जैसा कल्चर चाहूंगी वैसा ही चलेगा। सो दैट्स द इशू। एक जेन्युइन होना चाहिए, एक रैशनल होना चाहिए, बिकॉज एक किसी की डिक्टेटरशिप नहीं होनी चाहिए।
टीचर्स डिक्टेटर्स बन गए?
Not all the teachers.
Some teachers.
Not one out.
Okay, so the one teacher has become a dictator. Who's that?
Political science teacher Ishita Bhasani, Professor Ishita Bhasani. She's there in the college for last 18 years, and she has become de facto director. There is a director every time present, but she's the one who acts on his behalf every time. She takes
are taken by Ishita ma'am only. The director just asks us to refer the matter, whatever it is, to Ishita ma'am, and she is the one who takes the final decision on whatever matter it is.
Now, of course, what the college is saying is, that there was attendance problems, there was short attendance, etc. They are using these reasons. Do you believe that?
Not really. There are 2 major reasons that the protest is happening. Obviously, some attendance reforms are there to be held, But otherwise, the main issue is the mental harassment that the students go through in this college, and that is the issue that we are primarily concerned with. The attendance norms can be regulated according to the Bar Council regulations as well as the IP regulations, but that is secondary. The primary concern is the mental harassment that every student goes through.
Their parents are being called and then they are being insulted. I have seen parents leaving the office crying, and these are like bad things.
The situation there,
Let's go across to my colleague Iknoor joining us with further details this morning. Good morning, Iknoor. It's a very tragic story. We're looking at how a 21-year-old life, a promising life, has come to an end. But of course, the students who we have spoken to allege a different story altogether, saying that he was one of the best students they ever came across. But due to a leg injury, he could not attend his college. And due to short attendance, he was debarred and thus ended his life. Tell us the other side of the story. What's really going on?
Definitely, it's an extremely upsetting story that has come to the forefront. However, first of all, coming to what the university really has to say on this issue, Amity University claims that they had repeatedly informed about his low attendance, and as a rule, because they're affiliated with the IP University, as a rule, if a student doesn't have 75% attendance, then that student will not be allowed to sit for these examinations. Now, what is actually an exception in this case, which his peers, his family and his friends are actually pointing out even during the protests, is that in other cases, what usually happens is that compensation for attendance is given on medical grounds, and also if you're participating in any co-curricular or sporting activities. Now, according to his friends, family and peers, Sushant Rohilla was a very, very bright child who used to participate in several co-curricular activities. He was also the head of the debating society, and he also organized several other events inside the college as well. So he should have been given compensation for those activities, because of which he missed classes, and also the fact that he had a foot injury, and on medical grounds as well, he had all his certificates etc. in place, but he was not given any sort of compensation. In fact, also one of them has taken to social media to say that a Miss India contestant got compensation for attendance because she participated in the entire beauty pageant, but he didn't get compensation on medical or for co-curricular activities. So that is an allegation that is being put against the Amity University, and all the students who are protesting here are alleging that the university failed to pay heed to his
Right. It is also believed the family will go to courts and the police as well on this matter, while many say this could be a case of abetment to suicide as well, Iknoor. We'll leave it at that for a moment, though. Thanks very much for bringing us the latest there from the campus.